Welcome to a new episode of All That Jazz. I'm your host Matias, and I have with me Juan Carlos Gouveia. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you for being on. And you're a rapid transformational coach, and you do a lot of other things. And I found you when we spoke in the pre-interview. I found you your positive attitude. I found it really refreshing and stuff. So let's start at the beginning because I know you have an interesting background. So yeah, so introduce yourself to the audience. So like where you come from.
Uh, Thank you. I have a biomedical science background. So part of my professional life was working with the infectious diseases, bacteria, and analysis of samples and finding out what the patient disease is. And then
Hmm.
communicate with the clinicians so that they have the ways of prescribing the right antibiotics and the right treatment. So I've done that for more than 2 decades, and then I retrained to become a rapid transformational therapist and clinical hypnotherapist.
Ooh.
So I've been working with the body, and now I'm working with the mind. So now I've gone the full circle and I use the mind and body connection into one, and help my clients overcome depression, anxiety, addiction, as chronic conditions, because the mind influences the body and the body itself sends back the message to the mind. So it's we respond to the pictures and words we tell ourselves on a continuous basis.
Mm.
And the words and the pictures we form in our head creates a physiological response in our body. An example is the lemon test.
Mm.
When I tell clients or friends to imagine that they are tasting and smelling a wonderful, beautiful yellow lemon, and
Can
then
we do it now?
yeah.
Okay, well, do it me.
So
I'll close my eyes.
if anyone watching, so if they close their eyes and they imagine that they have a yellow lemon in front of their nose, and then as they bring the lemon towards the nose, just experience the smell of fresh lemon zest.
Mm.
And as you do that, now imagine that you are cutting the lemon in half and still bring it to your nose and smell the freshness of that lemon, zesty, fresh smell. And now just stick it in your mouth and chew it and savor all that lemon juice, all that zesty lemon juice in there. And, and now you can open your eyes. And for some of you, you will found that the saliva increased in your mouth. So you've responded
Yeah.
to a thought alone because there was no lemon.
Mm.
But the thoughts are the language of the brain, and
You're
the
right.
feelings and sensations are the language of the body. So the body responded to the thought of the lemon by producing saliva because your survival instincts kick in and says, this is lemon juice, this is acidic, this is, I need to dilute it. And so the primitive functions start to kick in.
Right. But so it seems like the mind is very powerful, and whatever you kind of imagine that's happening, it's almost like for the brain, it's like it's happening for real. So So we can, in a way, trick ourselves into feeling better or worse by the
Correct.
kind of thoughts we have, right?
Yes. And the thing is, Matt, that the mind responds in present time, always, all the time. Even if you are thinking about something from the past, you are experiencing reactions, feelings, sensations in the present.
Hmm.
If you are thinking something that is going to happen in the future is not yet here, but you are experiencing it in the now. For the mind, it's present time only. And there has been huge amounts of literature about mindfulness and the power of now, because now is the only thing that exists
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time. If you bring thoughts from the past, you experience them now
And is that
with the
depression
same with the
when?
same intensity as the event itself sometimes.
Yes. Yes. So, would you say that when you're preoccupied with past thoughts, it's more likely you have depression because you're like either you're nostalgic or you're guilty or you have regret or
Correct,
these
correct.
things
Yeah,
very common.
yeah. So anxiety and depression are conditions that happen because of the words and the pictures we put in our head.
Mm,
If we change the pictures and if we change the language, we start to feel a little bit better bit by bit. It's difficult, yes, because the mind likes what is familiar.
yeah.
And that is what we are conditioned to. That's our primitive brain, our reptilian brain, our survival brain. Everything that is familiar is safe.
Right.
And it can be behaviors, actions that are very damaging, but nevertheless they are familiar.
Right. So, would you say that's why, let's say, people from damaged homes are more likely to find partners that are in some way also damaged because, in a way, because that's what they've experienced in the past as love. So, love is abuse, and then they find partners that are abusive because they confuse that with love.
Correct, correct.
Hmm.
And where I come in into find the root cause of that. For example, a girl finds a partner that is more or less with the same behaviors as the father.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the father was abusive towards the mother, and that is what the girl noticed. And it can go two ways. It can go, oh, I will never get a relationship because I don't want to be like my mother.
Right.
Or I have a relationship and I will most likely have one like my father.
Well, yeah, usually they don't want to, but I think a lot of times if people don't do therapy or any kind of, or even I would say meditation or a 12-step group or something that they are working on themselves mentally or spiritually, or preferably both. If
Yeah,
they're not forgiving the father, also forgiving their parents. I
yeah,
think how
yes, that.
important is forgiveness in your work? Like,
Oh,
how?
absolutely.
Hmm.
Forgiveness is paramount, not just for others, but for yourself.
Oh man.
We forgive other people and we don't forgive ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves. Okay, I messed up. I learned from this. I won't do that again, and I'm not gonna punish myself by keeping having the looping thought of how stupid, why did you do that? What made you do that? Okay,
Mm.
so accept, forgive yourself.
Can I give you an example? Like in my life,
Yes.
there was
Yep.
years ago when I'm in school. I've been pretty terrible. Like I'm not trying to change that because I'm back in university. But
Yeah.
years ago, during the year, I studied nothing, and then about 2 months or so before the exams, the school was over, and I made a commitment to myself. Yes, I'm going to work. I'm going to study. But then every day came, I did nothing. I did nothing, and the stress mounted on me, and I was the nervous system was so um, overtaxed that eventually I started to develop like rashes here, and like it was crazy, and I had
Yeah.
such guilt about it as well. So I think that's a case of like maybe self blame or self hatred in a way. Severe stress that I had, because that's the only instance where I found like a direct correlation in my life between what was happening and a physical manifestation on me, because it was so eating me up inside. I wasn't
Yeah.
at peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were responding. You
Mm.
were responding to the fear triggered by from the amygdala.
Yeah.
That fear overwhelmed you, either fight or flight or freeze, and you decide. Invariable, the majority of people freeze, and that is familiar because they've done the freezing option for a long
Before.
time.
Yeah.
But because the freezing state was there, and the left side of the brain wanted to achieve that and didn't, then the judging, the juror, and the jailer starts kicking in.
Yeah.
And how it's going to punish you, that you know, it gives you headaches, it gives you rushes, it gives you something. The feelings and the thoughts are all communication systems. The
Mm.
thoughts are the communications of the brain. The feelings and sensations are the communication of the body. So every sensation that happens is a communication between both. And it's your body telling you something is not right. Sort it out.
When you have a client and you're talking to them the first time, is it really obvious? Like, what's the problem? Like when they start talking about it, or sometimes.
It, in some instance, is, but experience has taught me to not assume,
Hmm.
because invariably the presenting problem is not the problem. I have a very interesting case that a client of mine came for a session on relationships. He was going through divorce. They were planning divorce
Yes.
because there was conflict between the husband and the wife. The wife wanted to go to holidays that have huge swimming pools, seaside beaches, and amazing water activities. And the husband wasn't comfortable around water in huge quantities,
Oh
like
wow.
lakes, swimming pools, water activities, waterfalls, and that. So every time there was an excursion or a place to go and visit something, the father, the husband, was being petrified and had panic attacks. And
Wow.
as a result, the wife was very um, punitive and couldn't understand why you don't participate and join with us. Why do you have to sit up there while we are all here having fun? And look at our kids saying, Daddy, Daddy, come and see me jumping into the swimming pool. Look what I'm doing. And this chap was just feeling more and more and more anxious and more. The panic was building up. So this is the presenting problem, a relationship, and he wants to have a better understanding and a better loving relation with the wife. So when I work with him, we found out that he had trauma while being baptized.
What?
For some reason, at the age of 6 months or 8 months, uh, the godmother, the mother passed the baby to the godmother, but the amount of clothing, she didn't grab the baby properly, and the baby ended up with the head into the baptism pool, into the basin,
Oh
and
my
he was
goodness.
like suffocating. But then they lift the baby and
It was all
dry
okay.
the head, and it's all fine, and they carry on with the ceremony.
Oh wow.
But the imprinting was there, the trauma was there,
Wow.
and it got registered in the subconscious mind at the moment. Everything that happened got filed in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, it's is the biggest library, and
Mm.
it's all about each single person. Your subconscious mind, Matt, is the biggest library, and it has every single book all about you.
Oh wow.
And my subconscious has all the books in there all about me, and everyone else's has their own library there. So when we come out of the session, the problem was that the fear of water, not to have a shower or a bath, is just vast quantities because it's dangerous.
It triggered
So
something in him.
exactly. So the
Mm.
8 months old baby already had the survival instincts kicking in. I'm gonna die because I can't breathe. The water is in my nose. All that create the imprinting. So we worked with that client, and we found out that that was the trauma, and we eradicated it, eliminated it, erased it from his subconscious mind. And now, at the age of 56, is learning to swim
Oh,
and
amazing.
enjoying swimming with his kids, and learning to appreciate. Now I understand why you wanted to come here, because this is just amazing. I love the water around me. I love jumping into the water. This is so much fun. And
Oh,
there
hold on.
wasn't.
There is a part that maybe that I'm interested in from this story. So there must be a part when he was a kid, let's say. I think I'm assuming he didn't grow up by in a city by the sea or something. He didn't grow up. He probably grew up inland, right?
He he grew up in yeah, he grew up in land,
Right.
and refused to participate in physical activities. The physical education, swimming, had a letter from the mother.
He didn't
We
want to. He didn't want to. Oh yeah, that's what I was curious. So at an early age, you could tell that he was just afraid, and I
Yeah,
guess when his family went somewhere to the sea, he didn't want to have nothing to do with that either.
no, he would play away, or they would send in him to another family member. Uh, so, but nobody questioned. What they question is this kid is it's odd. It's not like the others.
Yes.
It's odd. It's not like the others. It's something weird. We don't understand him. So you grow up with these feelings, these thoughts about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not like the others. There is something in here that they don't like about me, but I don't know what to do about it because you've forgotten what happened in the past.
Hmm.
But it's there protecting you. No, don't go to the swimming pool because you die. Don't go to the sea. Don't go to the beaches. Don't go to the lake because at the age of 8 months, this happened. Do you want this to happen again? No. So this kid has a tantrum. Don't want to go here. Okay, so you don't want to go. We leave you with grandma, and that's it.
Right.
And then this chap grows, um, becomes an adult, and avoids going to places where is swimming pool because he doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't need to go.
Yeah.
It's an adult, he decides where he wants to go. So when we work on with all that, the presenting problem was relationship problems. There was no relationship problems. They had an amazing relationship. He was very accommodating. He was going on holidays with the family. It just didn't participate in these activities.
Right.
But
Just that
when,
one thing, just the one
yeah,
disagreement almost broke the marriage. That seems surprising to me. Why would that one disagreement seem break the whole marriage almost?
because it's happening constantly.
Oh,
No water around. So what is he doing? You're not here with us. We're swimming. You are here in the hotel. Who is in the hotel with you?
right.
Uh,
Okay, I see. I see. Okay.
you let us go. What's going on? I'm not comfortable with this relation.
Hmm.
And darling, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm in the hotel reading, watching TV here and there. But the it has things that are breaking the trust,
Hmm.
and it was denting into the relationship
Hmm.
because one of the things that the mind does for us to interpret things with other people is that we use deletions, generalizations to get to the root of things.
Well, what's deletions?
Okay, so a deletion is, for example, uh, you had a very good day, but around 5 o'clock, a client comes in and complains that whatever you sold or whatever you did wasn't good. So you come home and your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, or your husband asks you, "How was your day?" "Oh, my day was annoying. My day was ruined." But nobody asks what particular part of your day wasn't great, because you had a very good day up to 5 o'clock. So it's from 5 to 6 that something happened. And what we delete the fact that we had an amazing lunch. We met with so many people before. We had amazing time with A, B, and C. We deleted all that. And what comes to the front? The bad experience with the client.
Mm.
Therefore, my day is ruined. And then the other thing is generalizations.
Yes.
We generalize. For example, we generalize with race, we generalize with ideas, we generalize with people. For example, you had a very bad experience with X, and X belongs to a specific race or background. Therefore, we say, I don't like that because they are all the same. Another example is a man or a woman has a very bad relationship with their partner, and therefore the the girl says all men are bad.
Oh yeah. I knew that was coming.
Yes. So the generalization, one person had a very bad relation with you, and therefore then all men.
Yeah, all men are bad. You can't trust them. They only want one thing. Yeah, the old tired.
Exactly. And then all women are bad. All women want my money. All women, blah, 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 blah. One particular one wanted that.
Yeah.
Therefore, they are all the same. We generalize things.
Gold,
So,
yeah, gold
um,
digger.
yeah, so it's important to have to see the difference because it impacts on how we see things in life.
Hmm. Uh, I,
And
can I ask
yeah,
about something else that I think a lot of people struggle with nowadays is social anxiety and stuff like that.
yeah.
Is that something that's
I'm just writing down social anxiety, yeah, because
yeah.
I may need to do a podcast or write some on the blog about it.
Yeah. So I think I suffered it so at some time when I was younger, and it was very hard to. I think let me go back and share something. So
Okay,
when I was a young, so this is a therapeutic moment again, but okay. When I was young, I would visit my family down south, and what would happen is everybody would be around the table and we'd be eating, and usually during the meal, either my grandfather or my uncle would ask me questions that would be uncomfortable for me to answer and stuff like that.
okay,
Kind of put me on the spot.
yeah,
And that would really make me nervous. So every time these dinners or
yeah,
lunches happened after, I was reluctant, and I was even reluctant after that to even go to visit not only that family, but other families as well, because I was like, well, dinner table, all that, I don't know. I didn't,
exactly,
I didn't know how to handle it.
yeah,
But I think so many people have this experience of like not knowing how to deal with these situations, and also being preoccupied with their own thoughts. They're thinking, oh, everybody's thinking about me and all this. Well, it's not actually true at all, but you have that feeling in your head, and that makes it real.
yeah. Yes, it comes back again to the way we respond.
Mm.
We respond by deleting things, by
Yeah.
generalizing things, and the other thing is that we respond also by distorting things. We distort the things in our heads. But again, that's an interest. I've come across clients that had that same problem,
Mm.
uh, and because of that, they acquire a block that they wouldn't be able to have professions that would allow them to have public speaking
Yeah.
because um, at the dinner table or at a social event, someone asks something and they weren't able to answer. But
Yeah.
again, depending at what age was that, if the question wasn't appropriate and the adults were just doing that for the sake of fun or something, is the adult's fault.
Sure, but then the kids pay the price, right? They're like, oh, it's
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah, it's me. Again, a child that is neglected or abused by the parents doesn't have the logic faculties to associate that is their behavior
Hmm.
that is bad, not mine. So
Right.
therefore, because a child doesn't have the logic faculties developed yet, it becomes my problem. It's me, the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, mommy is putting the cigarette in my arm, is burning my arm. Therefore, I'm bad
Mm.
because I need mommy to provide me emotional support, security, food and drink. But mommy is hurting me. Therefore, mommy, I need mommy. So it can't be mommy's fault that mommy is stressed or doesn't know how to react and then is taking it all on me. Therefore, I'm the problem. Because if I wasn't the problem, mommy wouldn't be doing that.
Hmm.
So I've come across lots of things, and that creates an imprinting as the adult to behave in the future.
Right.
So a
It's very
child that
negative.
had,
Yeah.
yeah, a child that had this imprinting that in order to get love, I have to be heard, is going to find relationships, is going to attract relations that are providing something, but also are not quite ideal.
Yeah, yeah. Like traumatic because how do you like it's very tough to like to even think how would you overcome that like traumatic because childhood is very
Very,
important
it's
in
very
development.
easy. It's very
It's
easy,
very
Juan.
easy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you have a session with me. We uncover the root cause and we eliminate it.
Okay, so what
And you,
with
when you know,
hypnosis.
yes,
Okay.
when you know, when you know, understanding in hypnosis is the most phenomenal, liberating power you have.
Hmm.
But the thing with my services is not just hypnosis. Hypnosis is my services is beyond hypnosis because standard hypnosis does the induction and the end. You are amazing, you are free, blah 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 blah. No, my service does the induction, and I have 9 interrupters, and then your positive affirmations to give you the new behavior.
Can you go back? Nine interrupters. What does that mean?
We interrupt that loop, that cycle.
Hmm.
And when that understanding is achieved, you are free because you cannot do anything about what you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. But when you know, And when you understand, you're free.
Would you say it's a book, as it were, in the subconscious, or is it more the emotion, or is it both? They're both tied
It's
in.
it's subconscious. The language of the subconscious is emotional.
Hmm.
Emotional language goes straight into the subconscious mind
Oh, so basically, all the books in the subconscious, even though their information are coded with emotion.
completely.
Okay.
Otherwise, they don't go there.
If you're just
Logic,
all right.
logic takes you from A to B.
So
Consciously, with imagination, you go anywhere.
So even if somebody is like a PhD in math, really good at math, and like really smart, IQ on 140, still all the programming in his subconscious is all emotional.
Correct. You
Hmm.
can have, you can be the best accomplished scientist in the world, but your subconscious mind is telling you that you are not good enough. You not quite believe what you've got.
Hmm.
You are able to do this, but I'm not able to have a relationship. I've got all this, but I'm not able to make money. I've got all this, but I'm not able to something else.
Right. So it's focusing on the negative. Like you have all these things, but then this, I don't have this, I don't have this, and you're constantly looking at this speck.
Yes. Or we go the other way, acquire more and more and more and more and more to satisfy that.
Hmm. But it's
But
never enough.
it can never be satisfied. You could have 10 cars, 50 houses, be wealthy, but the subconscious is you're not good really. That
So,
amount of stuff won't cut it. And
hmm.
it happens with Hollywood stars. Uh, um, Lots of people that have so much money, famous. What is your problem? You shouldn't have any problems. You have millions of dollars. You have so much in your life. Why aren't you happy? Why are you addicted to drugs? Why do you need the drugs? Why do you need sleeping tablets? Why do you need tablets to wake you up? So all that material thing, it's been acquired in order to satisfy the void.
Right.
But the void is not filled with things because the void it's not a thing, it's a thought. A thought has no mass, has no shape, has no weight. We add the weight to the thought.
Do you ever talk about? Because I think, from my understanding, there's three levels. There is the physical, the mental, or the emotional, and the spiritual. So, do you think something that happens in the childhood might leave imprint also on the soul, might damage your soul in a way, or that's just an inaccurate way of speaking?
These we are going to go a little bit further. I'm dealing with I have an answer,
Hmm.
but I'm dealing more with mind body connection.
Yes. Okay.
But indeed, some clients have regressed to past lives.
Really? Like you didn't
And
intend to, but they just went
no,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I don't particularly work with past life experiences, past past life regression, but they happen. And people don't sometimes don't like to hear that when they in the previous life they were a criminal. They
Oh.
think that the previous lifetime they were the king of Egypt, and sometimes it's not like that.
Always.
Sometimes it's a soldier that got killed in war, or a criminal that did this or that. So it's interesting. It's fascinating. So with regards to the soul is it's it's pure. The soul is just transferable. The soul is the energy of life. It doesn't belong to, it belongs to the collective.
Hmm. But okay, let me ask you this,
And
since you're proposing this.
that spirit, that
Mm,
soul leaves this physical matter and reincarnating to other things to
yeah.
fulfill the, because the purpose of the soul is to grow.
Yes. Well, I guess that's my question then. I guess not everybody's like the tree. Like not all trees are the same height, and some trees are just starting out. And I think that's how souls are in a way,
Yeah.
because and then you say, and then you have a moral judgment, and you say, well, this person is bad. This person hasn't much awareness. Well, yeah, it is a small tree. Still, it's still growing.
Yeah. The other thing that we can go is that there is nothing good or bad until we add the connotation.
Yeah.
Every behavior has a reason for that to happen. And that behavior thinks that is doing you a favor because you only do what you can do with the resources you have. I'm not saying that you are allowed to misbehave and to do whatever you want to do. No, I'm not saying that. But
Right.
every behavior is happening for a reason. You are
Hmm.
doing your best with what you have and what you know. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you cannot learn and do better.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement for people, and that's why
Yeah,
coaches like you come in and
yeah,
you give a different perspective, and even small things like dancing. A lot of people
yes.
are terrified dancing. It's an expression, and they're afraid expression of themselves, and they're afraid of people are gonna judge me. I'm gonna look stupid, and it's a
And
even small
and
things
there,
like that.
yeah, and therefore they inhibit themselves experiencing that.
Mm.
It's not that it's a fear of rejection. It's
Yeah,
fear. It's
yeah.
a fear that I'm not going to be accepted. But again, it could be a distortion in their minds. I did an exercise with a group, and I asked one side of the group to write about the other group, what they see, how they see the other group.
As a group, or
It's
okay. Yeah.
a group of 12, six in this side and six on this side. This group A, you're going to write things about yourself. What do you think group B is thinking about you? And group B, they're going to write, what do you think group A are? They all introduce themselves, and the group A is thinking, I think they're not going to like me. I think they think that what I do is blah, blah, blah. It's all negative. And then they were surprised when group B said, uh, for you, I think your work is amazing. It's incredibly that you went through all that and yet you managed to build a business for yourself. They were shocked that the answers were positive. And I also do an experiment between two people to write everything that you tell yourself.
Hmm.
And then I invite a friend of that person to come into the room, a family member, someone that they love. And then I tell them to now, all the words that you've written about yourself, you're going to tell them to your friend. And
Hmm.
they start crying because they say, oh no, I cannot tell you that. No, there is no way I can read this.
Because they're bad words.
Yes.
Hmm.
So why do you tell them to yourself?
Right.
If you cannot say that I'm stupid, I don't think I can do this, I'm not as tall as you, as everybody else, I'm not as pretty, my hair is not this way, blah, 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 blah. And then they are shocked when their friend says, I think you are amazing. I try to follow in the things that you do because you inspired me so much. You inspire me to be the best, I think. And when they say, oh my God, if that is what I'm telling you, inspire, why I'm telling this to myself? And
Hmm.
they stop immediately because it's not helpful. It's just fascinating. The work I do is just makes me jump out of bed in the morning because I'm going to help someone free themselves from whatever.
That's amazing. I think a lot of people have experience of the opposite of not being excited. Like right now, to be honest, I am supposed to be studying, and I'm studying a little bit, and I'm doing work, but I'm not excited as I could be. I don't know if you could be excited for doing this. This would be an interesting proposition. If I guess some people are excited to study, I think that would be because they love it and they really love the subject, and
Okay.
they love the process. I guess the loving the process is an important part of life, because you don't love the just the end of the client being well. You love the I imagine you also love like getting to know them first, and
I like
and seeing small
I
improvements, right?
I love the investigative bits.
Hmm.
I know you come in for the session because you want to stop drinking. Okay, you told me that you are an alcoholic or you are a drug addict. That's fine. I'm not judging you on your behavior because I'm not interested in the behavior at all. What I'm fired up is why are you a drug addict? What compels you to do that?
Hmm.
That is where my brain is all fired, all my neurons are what's going on in here? Why you do that? And then when you know the reason you do that and understand and we eliminate it, you're free.
Hmm.
And that is just amazing.
That's awesome.
It
When you
is
see people
incredible.
transform at the end as well.
Yeah, yeah.
um
And you can see it when I had them in the screen, they come in with a body language of shame because they are taking drugs or alcohol, or they steal, or they have hypersexuality, they addict to pornography, to anything. So they are like that. And then, oh my God, it's just just in front, from that to, oh my God, I feel lighter. I could never have the make that connection. And I was doing this for 10 years. Gosh, I've been doing this all my life with that knowing. It's just, it's just rewarding.
So, would you say that self-love then is one of the biggest things that people can do for
Yeah.
themselves? But then the question then would be how do you love yourself? How do you come to that place where you love and accept yourself
You need,
unconditionally?
yeah, you need to learn it, because if you haven't learned it, um, you can start by addressing, being more compassionate to yourself. But all that, if we do it consciously, it's not
Enough.
resolved.
Hmm.
We need to resolve it subconsciously. When we resolve things subconsciously, we've resolved it for good. Done. Is the problem with the when we interact consciously? Of course, I understand if the person is, it's an alcoholic, they understand that they shouldn't be drinking because they can see that their health is deteriorating. They're not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They know that what alcohol is causing them, and they understand that they shouldn't be doing it. You don't need to tell them that you shouldn't be drinking. I know I shouldn't be drinking.
That's why they called you in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. I know why I shouldn't be doing, but why am I doing it?
Hmm.
And that's what, when we speak or deal with things in a conscious level, we're just talking about it. We're not solving it really.
So would you
We need
say affirmations are work when people do it by themselves?
affirmations will work if you keep telling yourself at some point you're going to believe it. But
Right.
do you want to spend 10 years saying, I am fantastic, I'm great, I'm the best, blah, 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 until you believe it? Or you rather get it there and believe it? You remember Muhammad Ali, the boxer, he said, I'm the greatest. He wasn't the greatest at all at boxing. But if he said, I'm not a good boxer, it's unlikely that I'm going to be a good boxer.
Right.
But he's chosen. He knew the power of mindset. He knew the power of working with his mind. And he says, I'm the greatest. I am the greatest. And every time he goes to the ring, boxing, I'm the greatest. Until he became the greatest.
Yeah, he was for sure very skilled, and but
Yeah,
this attitude saved him with the since we're talking about boxing in the fight against George Foreman, because George Foreman was a tank, and it was incredible. That was still one of the best boxing matches ever, where George Foreman, like, I don't know, for 10 rounds or what it was back in 74 in Zaire, when he was pummeling Ali for 10 rounds, and then he got tired, and then Ali, who was kind of fresh, I mean beaten up but fresh, just pop a few punches, and he was out. It's crazy. um I don't know if you know, but George Foreman then a couple years after, he had a near death experience, and he became a priest.
there you are.
No, a
It's,
pastor, sorry. But then
yeah,
he ran out of money after 10 years, and then he decided to go back, and he fought his way. He was smart. He didn't go back at the top. He went, fought scrubs, and fought his way back to the top, and he became a champion again at 45. That's like, to me, such an inspirational story. Um,
absolutely. If there is a will, there is a way.
mm,
There is a quote, if there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are making excuses. So, coming back to your study issue, uh,
Yes.
why are you doing what you are doing when, if you know that what you are doing has a purpose, and the purpose is greater than what you are doing,
Hmm.
you will
Some
get that easily.
some therapy. I love it. Well, let's see. I think what it is the best I could describe it is the inner child and resistance. Is
Yeah.
basically like I want to do what I want to do, and I can do it, so I'm gonna do it, la la, la, and then I do it.
You can do what you want to do.
Hmm.
What do you want to do?
Well, this is an interesting question. Like at one point, I want to study, but
Uh,
then,
so what do you want to do? Because if you don't, your mind doesn't care what you put in it, Matt.
oh yes,
It
hmm,
doesn't care if what you say is good or bad. It just accepts everything in the moment. So what do you want?
I
You
want
need
to.
to be you need to be specific. You
Hmm,
need to be smart. You need to be to the point,
okay.
because the mind doesn't care.
Well, I want to pass my exams and
Okay, so you want to pass your exam. And in order to pass your exam, what do you need to do?
study and do
You need to
essays
study.
and write
And
essays.
how do you what else?
Because there's four exams, so some are essays, some are exams.
Okay, so you need to pass your exams, and for that
Study.
you need to study. So now passing the exam is top,
Hmm.
but it's up here. But before you get here, you need to do that. You need to study. So how you're going to do your studies?
Um, just
How
sit
many
down every day
hours?
here and do it.
How many hours structured? How many hours for study are you allocating yourself?
Like six. Ideally, I'd
Six,
want to do at least six a day.
6 hours, 6 hours a day. Now we focus on the hours. 6 hours, you're going to divide the 6 hours into what? Four things you said you need to do?
Yes, I'm focusing now on two things actually.
Okay,
Two.
so you have 3 hours, 6 hours, two activities of 3 hours. What you going to do for one activity?
I read the textbook and answer the practice questions.
Read text and answer questions.
Yes.
And then you have a break because you've done 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Clear your head, look at the window, stretch, bring energy in, and then you have 3 more hours. What are you going to spend the 3 hours on?
Wait, hold on. Are you recommending that I do 3 hours without break? Just sit down and do straight 3 hours?
We focus on the 3 hours first
Okay, got it.
for the two activities. So the other 3 hours, what you gonna do?
I need to first finish reading what I need to read before I write the essay.
Okay, read in order to write essays.
Yes.
Okay, how fast do you read?
Mm, moderately, I would say. Not
Okay,
fast, but not slow.
yeah. Okay, so can you see that we have now a plan? Study
Roughly.
is the aim, the goal, and in order to get the goal, I need to study.
Hmm.
And in order to study, I'm prepared to focus 6 hours a day. And those 6 hours, I'm going to divide 3 hours to read text and answer questions, and 3 hours to read and write an essay. Within those 3 hours, you do something and you have a break. And then you do something else and it's something else. You divide the task. I call it chunking,
Chunking. Hmm.
make into chunks. For example, I'm writing a book and I focus on what can I do. I cannot write the book in one day. So what can I do? So I focus 1 hour in the morning. I brainstorm. Oh, this is actually good. So I've got 15 chapters now. It's nearly published. But the more I read, the more I keep moving chapter 15 to chapter 12 and here and there because it has evolved so much.
Hmm.
So I develop an hour and I write 500 words. And then another time, whenever I have another time, I focus on something. And gradually it's evolving. And now I need to choose a cover for the
Cool.
book.
So you're
And
nearly
then I need,
finished.
yeah, and then I need to do this and I need to do that. But it's only possible because I structure my day. And I always make sure that I start my day with achievement.
Hmm.
I do things that because we have needs. We all have needs. We have the need to be certain.
Yes.
The need to be uncertain. The need to have significance.
Hmm.
The need to love and connection. The need to grow. So within those needs, we satisfy bits and pieces throughout the day. So I need certainty. What can I do that I'm certain? Well, I know I can brush my teeth, I can have a shower, I can dress myself, I, I make my bed, I do my stretches, my meditation, have breakfast, shower. I'm certain. I
Hmm.
already achieved 10 things, success and certainty. Uh, I'm going to be doing a podcast with Matt. I don't know how it's going to go. Uh, that uncertainty, it's
Exciting.
exciting,
Right.
exciting. I need uncertainty.
Hmm.
I need to go somewhere that I don't know and see what I learn. I need to feel significant. That am I doing is significant, and we need to have connection. If we don't connect, it's uh, it's unauthentic. If we don't connect, we it's it's difficult.
Right. So
And
you
I also
okay. So you're saying you have to integrate. You can't just like whole day study, study, study. You have to bring in other parts so your life is whole. You're not just running yourself dry
yeah,
into the ground, basically.
absolutely,
Ah, I see.
because it's an example is take a deep breath in, but don't give me one out. Just take a deep breath in. Keep going, 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 keep going. It's not it's not good, is it?
No.
It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
So now take a deep breath and give it out, but don't take one in. Keep keep giving it out, 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 out. It's not good, is it?
No.
So can you see that you need a breath in and out to have a
Right.
balance? So with the studies, you need a balance.
Mm,
With your profession, you need a balance. In your relation, you need a balance. If it's more one thing, it's going to be an imbalance.
right.
And then you're
This,
going to feel
yeah.
stressed, you're going to feel resentful, you're going to be blah, blah, blah. And then you don't do it because the amygdala gets fired.
Mm,
And then you have to respond by fighting, by fleeing, or by freezing. And depending on what you do, you either freeze and, okay, another day gone. You know what? I'm just going to binge on Netflix or something else.
it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. And because it's familiar, you go to what is familiar.
Mm,
But the amazing thing is that we need to make what is unfamiliar familiar.
mm.
And
So,
what successful people do is that they do what they don't like first in the first thing,
in the morning.
out of the way.
Mm,
Working out, I know I need to work out to maintain my physique because I'm 53, so it's important that I keep fit and healthy
mm.
because I want to age and be of a service to lots of people. So I value my health.
Yes.
So I have to do that. But I don't like exercise.
So,
I don't like, I do it because I have to do it. And I do it first thing, I'm over and done. Yes, I've achieved that.
mm,
And when it's out of the way, then you have more clarity to do what you want to do.
yeah, I think that that sounds good when you get when you do first things first, and especially the first things that are difficult out of the way, and then you're like, yes, this is good. This is good. The day is going well. I can
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
enjoy my day without guilt.
yes, oh, totally. And schedule,
Mm,
uh, jot down things on your diary that you are accountable for. Your to-do list,
yeah.
and then you see it on paper or on your tablet. I have to do this, and that. And then as they get ticked, it's accomplishments. And the
Mm.
mind likes accomplishments.
Would you say not to overburden yourself with things, but kind of leave, be reasonable and
Yes.
not do like try to do 12 hours of study in a day, like try to be reasonable and be like, I'm gonna do 6 or 8.
I remember when I was a university student, I had a structured day. I had my lectures, I had my fun time, I had my physical time, and then study time in chunks throughout the year.
Hmm.
And nearer the exams, then I would spend more time. I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that because I knew that the gratification would be greater at the end.
Hmm.
Was difficult? Yes, because we all like instant gratification. You get a phone call. Would you like to go and see this film? Oh, yes. Do you like to play this or that? It's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But by saying no, delaying the gratification, then it becomes easier the more you do.
Hmm. Um, before we leave, can you show me the sign that we did the experiment last time? If you have it near, because I think it's a fun little fun little thing that we can do. Um, should I read it or I let the audience just read it?
I think we'll let the audience read
Yes.
because they make their own mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think my one of my colleagues wanted to have it, and
Okay, okay. No worries, no worries.
it's I'll find it. Got it.
There we go.
Mhm. Okay, so is something like this for the audience to read what they reading. Is it clear?
Yes, it is clear.
So your audience to read that, and invariably they will say what is there.
Yes. What? Um.
They will the invariable. Lots of people would say opportunities are nowhere,
Yeah. Opportunities nowhere.
and then when you show them that opportunities are now here,
Hmm. It's
they
the
can
same
see the
spelling. It's just like you read a different opportunities now here.
yes, because the now, it's been highlighted, but the now was also here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see it like that, opportunities are nowhere, and they see now that the opportunities have been highlighted. It's a different story,
Yeah, yeah. It's
correct?
just a perception. Yeah, this
Yeah,
one. This is the original. Opportunity
yeah.
is amazing.
Opportunity is nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and the now is also here, but they don't see it. And when it's highlighted,
Yes.
so opportunities are everywhere.
It's just about perception. Like, well, whatever you search, your mind is like a Google engine. Whatever you search in your mind, you will find everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Results found 3,000 hits, 3 million hits.
And you know something amazing about the brain is that
Mm,
scientists in neuroscience have compared the brain to the most amazing supercomputer, and they said that it has the capacity to learn until we are 300 years old, and we
300.
only touch the surface.
Wow.
Can you imagine how vast percentage of the brain we are not using?
Can we unlock more with hypnosis? It'd be more
Absolutely, absolutely.
amazing.
The more
Okay.
you unlock, the more you becomes part of you.
What do you think of there's a lot of videos on YouTube of subliminal messages and stuff, and some of them even laced with frequencies and stuff like that. What do you think about that?
They have some effect, and they are used throughout um, advertising, throughout stores. There are different ways of using them. It
Hmm.
depends what they are in there. Uh, if they are there to increase your motivation, your energy levels, your attention span.
Yeah. Then it's good.
Um, uh, but nothing is best than knowing why you are struggling with a specific issue,
Hmm.
because that is taking the easy route, but you're not dealing with the problem. We're just dealing with the symptom.
Cool. Yeah,
So
yeah. So you go deep. You go
if you
deep.
really want to go deep, you have a, a therapy session to go to the root, eradicate it, eliminate it from your life, and then you are motivated. You are this, you do that. I have clients that come for different issues. They have success blocks. They have money blocks. They have career blocks.
Hmm.
Uh, they want to be millionaires. They want to have lots of money. But if the subconscious mind say no, you're not going to have it. Because if the belief is if you have lots of money, people are going to be begging you for money and you're going to be giving your money all the time. And you don't like that. Therefore, I'm going to prevent you from getting money so that you don't have to suffer to give money away.
Well, you discover that in your mind, basically in the subconscious mind, that this is what they believe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Do you make people millionaires in a way, indirectly or directly, basically?
I don't make people millionaires. I make them with the capacity to the belief that they can be millionaires.
Hmm.
One of my clients had a career block, and when the block was eliminated,
Yeah.
now has a better career, has more money.
Nice.
Another client came with the other issues, and she wanted to release a song, produce a song.
Yes.
We removed the blocks that prevented her to do that, and now is releasing her song on.
And that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, I know I kind of ran over time that we intended to, but is there anything else you wanted to say before
No,
we
it's
part?
anything that you want to ask me. If your audience want to find out more about me, they can go to changeideserve.com and they can read about what my clients say. They can read about the blog. They can see the media where I write for different magazines. Um, they can book themselves a session, a discovery call to see how I can help them. So yeah, by logging into changeideserve.com, there is lots of information to find out how I work and what my services are.
I think for those of you who don't know, discovery session I think is a free session, usually a half an hour, or is it an
Yeah,
hour?
half 20 to half an hour, 20 to 30 minutes,
Cool, cool,
where
cool.
we can discuss what I can do, and or indeed if a colleague of mine would be better suited to that person.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description wherever they're watching this. And yeah, thank you very much, Juan Carlos Vieira Gouveia. I hope I said
Thank
that right.
you, Pat.
Thank you very much for
uh,
being on the podcast.
Wonderful, loved it, and we may schedule something else in the future.
Yes, and thank you everybody for listening and watching the podcast.
Thank you.